Welcome to BBC London News with me, Alice Bhandhukravi. You've joined me here for a special programme at the cordon here in front of what is left of this smouldering tower block. You'll see that I have a face mask here. Lots of people here have been issued with face masks because the air is very dirty and sooty, and I will show you what has been found in this area. Pieces of molten plastic. I'm treating it very carefully because we're not entirely sure what it is, but pieces like this, debris, has been found all over this area. Now, there have been some amazing stories of those who've managed to escape this fire and those who've witnessed the horror of last night.
Today is the 14th of June. 2 o'clock a.m. I woke up by the siren noise.
And one of the neighbours said, "Fire, fire." I looked through the keyhole first before we opened. I saw a couple of people running down the stairs where the fire exit is. So we got our trainers on and stuff. And literally within a couple, before we got outside, opened the front door, there was thick smoke.
All of a sudden I heard my door bang, 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 bang. I didn't get up. But what happened, when they bang it again, when I got up, they said, evacuate out, there is fire.
What floor are you on? Huh? Seven, yeah?
My mum and my infant sister they were there for 5 hours because the fire brigade told them just to wait until it's safe. My mum was panicking and I was panicking. And then there's stairways downstairs and she had to step over a dead body, she said.
I said to her, they're coming for you, they're coming to get you. I don't know if they did.
I've got my friend there. Already she's out, but her brother and wife and children still there. We don't know if they're safe or not.
The one image which sticks in my mind was seeing a family waving what appeared to be a towel for around an hour, and there was a helicopter coming about 400 meters from their window and then turning around. And for me, the thing that I took from this was how agonizing must that have been for that family when they were, we watched them stop moving from the street.
I just want her to be well with the kids. I don't want her to say that I don't want to miss her. I want her to come back.
The minute that building just went up so fast. How? Why? It's a lot of questions to be asked.
Well, lots of people are gathered here, of course, lots of reporters and news crews like us, but also local people who've just gathered here to help, and of course those residents who've been evacuated from this building, who have been sharing their stories of survival. We can cross now for more on this to Catherine Carpenter.
Yes, Alice, well, more than 12 hours on, this building is still alight on the top floor. If we get our camera in a bit closer, you can see there are still flames coming out of the top floor flat window in the middle there. And every now and then below, there's a water jet that goes in, sent in by the fire services, still very much on the scene here, still trying to dampen things down and get this blaze fully under control. Now, looking at that building, it is hard to believe that anybody escaped from those upper floors, and yet escape they did. Earlier, my colleague Carl Mercer spoke to one family who say they ignored official advice and fled from the 17th floor.
Just grabbed them, we just ran down the stairs. It took us a good solid maybe 4 minutes to get out. Just as I was entering the ground floor, the fire brigade was coming up. So I know the fire was going on for about 25 minutes prior to me leaving that building, and that was the first firefighter I saw on the stairs from the 17th floor. I mean, I've only lived there for less than a year. So I moved in July, and this was one of my main concerns about living in a tower block. On Saturday, we did have the fire brigade team come around and speak to people in their houses.
And check alarms to make sure they're working.
Just this Saturday?
Just this Saturday.
Seriously?
Yeah. And they told us the protocol was to close your door because the fire door will withstand the heat for a duration of time. But I think what's happened is they're not understanding that this fire has spread all around the building. So that is wrong information for that building and the material in that building. Because if you're staying in your house, you could still be trapped.
So if you'd stayed?
Yeah. if I listened to the advice given to me by the fire brigade and also by the TMO management team, we could be dead.
Well, I've been here for much of the morning and I've spoken to a lot of people about their accounts of what happened last night, the horror to which they awoke in the early hours. Some of them are still walking around clutching little pieces of paper. On that paper are numbers, they're reference numbers for friends and family who are still missing, still unaccounted for. Now earlier the Mayor Sadiq Khan urged people who maybe fled that building but have gone somewhere to think about things or to recover, to come forward. The emergency services need to know where those people are, and there is a special casualty bureau number that you can get in touch with to let people know if you are safe.
Thank you, Catherine. Well, the local community here has really gathered together. The local Sikh Gurdwara has opened its doors. Its members have been walking the streets here, handing out food and bottles of water. The churches have done the same. The church nearest to this building has opened a relief centre and will be providing food for the families and the people who've been evacuated throughout the day and potentially into tonight. The local mosques have also done the same, and that's where we can join Carl Mercer now at a mosque on Ladbroke Grove. Carl.
The one before the main one, I'm give you water. Yeah, Alice, look at the scene here. The community has turned out deliveries of water and all sorts of things. Let's take a look inside and see how many people have actually turned out to try and help their community, because many of those, of course, caught up in the fire were from North Africa and would have worshipped here. So there is a lot of food and things on this side, and then we have clothes round on the other side. Lots of the community still coming through, and if we wander through into the main area, we can still see plenty of clothes all over the place here. But it's a similar scene that we saw all over the rest of West London. As you were saying, Alice, we were down there and there were people turning up from the local community, people with black bags balanced on bins, young people just coming because they lived in the area and they wanted to help. Even school children who are not going to school today coming in and just bringing what they could. And what people have been bringing has changed throughout the day. It started off being food and water. It's now turned into a need for things like blankets and bedding, such as the need of those people who survived the fire but have been displaced from their homes.
Carl, thanks very much for that. Well, it's time to get a check on the weather now with Kate Kinsella.
Thanks very much, Alice. Well, we've got barely any cloud in the sky at all today. So UV levels are high and the pollen count is high as well. Now, the temperature, we're looking at around 26, maybe 27 later on this afternoon. Now, this sunshine is going to continue into the evening. Then overnight, we're in for a very warm and humid night, quite uncomfortable for some overnight tonight for sleeping, for example. The minimum temperature staying in the teens. Central London somewhere between 16 and 18 Celsius. So a warm start tomorrow morning with some sunshine. We will see a little bit of fresher air moving in. We've got a cold front which moves across as we head through Thursday afternoon. You could see a bit more cloud, but what you will notice is perhaps the air feeling a little bit fresher by the time you get to tomorrow evening. This fine, dry, settled weather is set to last, though, as we head right the way through to the weekend, getting warmer still as we head through Saturday and Sunday. Back to you, Alice.
Well, that's all we've got time for here at the cordon outside what is left of this tower block. We will, of course, have the very latest for our special programme this evening at 6:30 with Assad. But for those who are worried about friends and family, there is a hotline number that you can ring. From here in North Kensington, goodbye.